Hey guys, it's Leesh, and welcome to another episode of Car Confessions. Guys, listen, just leaving work. My leg is itching. Oh, scratch my leg there. Anyway, yeah, I'm just leaving work, and it's weird. Like it's Wednesday, right? And I feel like it should be Friday. I don't know what is going on with these weeks, but and I don't know if y'all are feeling this, but I honestly feel like almost let's say maybe the past 2 Mondays, maybe longer, I don't know. But the point of it is I feel like once I have finished the workday on Monday, I feel like I've worked at least 3 or 4 days within just that one day. It is so intense, and it's not like I'm doing like all these earth shattering things and I'm like, you know, working really, really hard physically or even mentally. Let's just keep it real. But like, it's just the energy. I don't know if it's just something like the energetic field of life. Like, I don't know what is going on, but I am just like exhausted. And it's not even like, oh, I need some energy from like caffeine or like it's that type of feel. No, it's like a soul, like it's that intense type of, tired. Like I just need to rest for the sake of just my mental, spiritual, physical, all the things that require wellness. I need it for that. Um, so I don't know what that is, but all that to say, y'all, today I'm just like, man, 2 more days of this. What? It's intense. But here we are. And, I'm hopeful that the rest of the week will, be cool, be chill. I mean, Memorial Day's coming up, so I'm, thinking about that and like, okay, at least you have Monday off. Like, count your blessings, right? Because some people don't have that luxury. So it's like, hey, it could be so much worse. Side note, I know I've talked about this a lot in the city, but I don't know what it is with people crossing the street right when the light turns green. Like, what is that? Like, why can't you abide by traffic laws and just wait? Like, because it could be that one person in the car who does not care and runs you over, and then here we are, right? Like, oh, it's crazy. But another thing, I digress. It's crazy. Like New York City, people, not all the people, but some of the people just completely fearless, but in ways that are kind of dangerous. It's like, be careful, my friend. Please be careful. I don't know. But, how are you guys doing? Like, what is happening? What is going on? Are you just as exhausted as I am? I don't know. Are you wondering what's going on in this world? Because I know I am. I mean, I am constantly like in this state of like, what is going on? And I know I say that a lot, but it's different this time. Like for real, like it's different in the way of like really what what realities are all of us living in? And it's more apparent than ever that we all live in different realities. Whether we want to believe it or not. I mean, as a consensus, like we see things happening around us, we recognize that, we are all here, right? Like physically we see people, obviously like visually we see them and physically they're in our presence. But when it comes to like how we all view the world and how we see things unfolding and happening and how it affects us or doesn't affect us, completely different. Um, and I'm still just trying to wrap my head around that, and make peace with it more than anything, right? Because it's like, oh, you really aren't seeing what I see. Or maybe you're seeing it and you just really don't want to acknowledge it. I don't know. Like, I don't know. But what I see in a lot of things that are happening in the world is that there is so much chaos and, you know, wildness that's going on all, like, almost in everything that we think about, like the entertainment world, just humanity, just living life, political things, day to day living, getting to and from work. I mean, it is always something that's like chaotic and crazy, and it's like, okay, what? Um, but I don't know if everyone is seeing it in that way. Some people seem real cool and calm and collective about all this stuff, you know? And listen, great, that's awesome. I mean, I try to stay as level as possible in, you know, how I approach things and how I deal with things, but maybe people are doing what I'm doing, just trying to stay as calm and collective about it, but still like in their head, like, what the hell is going on? Right? I don't know. I don't know. Like, are you guys feeling that? Are you like in a space of like really trying to understand what the hell's going on? Fill me in, because I'm just like, guys, is this how we move forward in life? You know, and then maybe, I don't know. So I'm thinking about like the past few years, or not the past few years, like years before COVID, 2019 and before. Like, were we completely oblivious to all the things? Like, and now, because things are now being revealed, dude, come on, dude. Like, this woman in the front of me is just shooting the shit. Like, I don't know what she's doing. Like, God bless her. But anyway, like, are we just kind of like, or were we like in a space of just like really oblivious to what was happening in real life? And now that we're seeing more things and more things are being revealed, it's so jarring that it's like, what the hell? And maybe that's what it is. Like, maybe that is the issue, that we are seeing things that have been here, exposed in a way that has never been presented to us. And okay, fine, right? Like, fine, okay, I can wrap my head around that. Um, but it's just the processing of it all. I think that's what it is. Actually, I know that's what it is. It's the processing of all this information. And I mean all this information, because let me tell you something. I am like the best of us. I am constantly watching different things on social media platforms like TikTok and whatever else. And there's so much information, right? Tons and tons of information, tons of things that you have to, you obviously, like, take the time to look into to make sure it's actually factual. Because I mean, anybody can get on TikTok and make a video and talk about God knows what and have you believing all the things, right? But like, when you do find things that are factual and it's something that completely rearranges everything you knew about life, it is really difficult to kind of just say, okay, now how do I move forward now that I know this information? You know what I'm saying? It's like one of those. It's like, what? Um, Basically everything that I was taught and knew was a lie. And I mean, not everything, but a lot of things. Like, when you start really looking and seeing this stuff, you're like, what the heck? Like, what? You know? Um, and that, you know, now that I'm talking all this through, that explains a lot of the exhaustion. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, wait a minute. Like, everything that I thought was factual about how we operate, on this earth as humans and whatever else, um, has either been completely altered to the benefit of, you know, those that are in power, um, or basically this is it. Like that, we have been conditioned to believe certain things and have certain limitations in this life, thinking that that's what it was, and now realizing, oh, there aren't as many limitations as we have been told. Like, there are possibilities to do things and, you know, be able to succeed in ways that we might have thought was limiting, but it's really not limiting. That makes sense. Uh, and then now it's like, now what do I do with that? Like, how do I move forward? How do I alert the masses? Do I alert the masses? Because are people ready for this type of stuff? I don't know. I don't know. But what I do know is that it's like, are we going to continue on doing what we normally do, having all this new information in place, right? And you could be like, Leesh, what information? Like, there's tons of information. I mean, I can't even get through. I can't even talk about half the things, right? Because there's just so many things, even down to money, right? When I started realizing that money wasn't quote unquote like real, um, and I came to that conclusion when I started seeing the the abundance of money being printed in this country, and particularly during COVID, when they were just printing money. And it was just like, how do we back this, guys? Like, how is this being actually managed? You know, I thought that you needed something to kind of like, um, uh, almost like a collateral, like gold or something that's kind of like creating legitimacy for this, right? And when I realized that, I was like, oh, all this stuff is made up. Aha. Okay. So if money's made up, what else is made up? And then you really start going down those rabbit holes, and you start realizing the, how we have operated in this life has all been made up by maybe one, two, I don't know how many people, but it was created by people for their benefit. And we have just kind of like fallen in line thinking, oh, this is just the way it is. But it's a creation of someone else's actual dreams and wants and whatever else, right? And we have been living in this dream of whoever for I don't know how long, right? And I'm just thinking, wow, if that person was able to do that, live, or even not, will live and create what we now know as reality, why can't we just change that, and create the reality that we want now? Because a lot of things that we do in everyday life are so archaic, don't make sense, even down to our beliefs in some things. It's like we can change that up, guys. Like there's no reason why we still think and feel a certain way about whatever, right? And of course things change over time. Unfortunately, we've regressed in some things as it relates to like abortion laws, LGBTQ rights, black and brown people being able to just breathe and exist on this planet. Um, that's always been an issue. Uh, so, how do we, guys, I just need you to understand, folks are dangerous out here. Listen, driving in New York is not for the faint of heart. I'm just going to say that. That truck, Godspeed. Anyway, but yeah, like someone created these ideologies. Someone created racism. Someone created sexism. You're getting the point. Someone has created all these isms to divide us and to pin us against one another. Because if we came together, golly, what would that look like? That would be amazing, in my opinion. That would be us actually um, taking this world by storm in a way of saying we all want to live and be happy and create worlds within this world that benefit everyone as opposed to some. And I mean, a small portion. When you think about the people who are really, quote unquote, reaping the benefits of the society. And honestly, when you think about those that are reaping whatever world that we've created, that we're all living in, are they? I don't know that they're really that happy in this creation either. Yes, do they have all the money that isn't real, right? Do they have all the, all the amenities, at their fingertips? Yes, they have all those things. That's all that they are things, right? It's just things that they've acquired by way of having all this money and all this power that we have allowed them to have. How do we change that? I don't know all the answers, but I do feel like a lot of that can be changed by us releasing the fear around trying to change what we now know as our reality. I I don't know how to start engine that, but I do feel like that is something that should definitely be in the mindsets of all of us. How do we start changing this stuff? How do we create a world where we all are winning? Because, like, honestly, who says that a certain amount of people should be on top and the rest of us around here looking crazy as hell, just, looking for the crumbs and hoping for the best? What? Like really, who deems you the best of the best? Right? We don't question that. We just kind of like, oh, they are the so and so's, and so because of that, they are, you know, favored, I guess, if you want to use that word, and we don't question it because they're just the favored people. They're the chosen people, or whatever that is, right? And so because of that, they are, able to obtain all this wealth and have all these things, and be able to, not abide by the laws that are put in place that are supposed to be for everyone, but somehow they can just slide by and not have to, you know, deal with the consequences of things that they do that on the books, right, or the laws say that every person should do these things. If not, these are the penalties. Somehow it's dismissed when it comes to them. How do we change that? I mean, this is legitimately me asking this question. How do we change those things um, in a way that doesn't penalize people that have been on top? Because I'm not a person that's like, ah, ha, ha, now we're on top and now you guys are at the bottom. I'm not that kind of person. Um, but I am the type of person that wants to be in a position to say, hey, if I have, you know, the benefits of living a certain life, I want everybody to be in that position. And let me show you how I did it, as opposed to, oh, it's hush hush, only I have the secrets, and too bad for you. Like I that's just not me, right? Like I don't understand that. And maybe that's just me. Maybe that's my reality. Maybe I'm living in that reality, and other people live in other realities. Obviously, that's what's happening. But it's just so hurtful at the end of the day to know that as humans, we have put ourselves in this position to either feel that we are better than others or to feel like we are less than others. Um, or those people who are like myself who don't feel that and are still questioning how did we get to this point where we have created this hierarchical type of mentality and certain people deserve and others don't, It's wild. It is wild. And I'm just trying to figure it out. Because I feel like if we don't really start looking at that as opposed to us looking at all the things that are like, this is wrong and we're going to shut this person down and, demise to this person. Like, we've done enough of that. We've done enough of all of those things. And yes, I believe people should be held accountable. Like, don't get me wrong. You're doing crazy shit. You need to be held accountable. But at some point, there has to be some love involved in that and some grace involved in that, or else, it's like, what are we doing here, right? Like, come on. Because it's constantly, beating each other up, and it's just not, for me, it's not going to benefit us as humans. And like I said, we've been on this road to like craziness for quite some time. And I think now it's time for us to find new ways of living and being, and being okay with loving one another and being humane to one another. I just don't think it's a hard task, and letting people be, right? I think in America we have created this type of weird enmeshment relationship with us as a society, where everyone has to do what everybody else, like everyone has to kind of like do the same stuff, and we have to be on the same page, per se, as it relates to how our government officials operate and this, that, and the other. And if we're not on that page, then we are ostracized and we're ousted and whatever else. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, no, that's another thing too. That's a whole other story. Like how our government officials operate in this country. Like we've lost the idea of knowing that they are here for us as opposed to the other way around. Like we are operating as if we aren't a democracy, and we've been doing that for quite some time. And that's another thing that has been kind of like our eyes have been open to. Um, but yeah, I just feel like we definitely need to get to a place where we are seeing each other as humans, where we are finding ways where we all can win in this world, because the way things are going right now, more catastrophe, more death, more trauma is going to be upon us if we don't start changing how we view each other and how we see each other in this world. It's just going to continue to get crazier and crazier. We have to fight for the justice of all. And sometimes that's not pretty, and that's okay. Um, because right now that's what's happening. It's not pretty. But at some point we have to find ways to rearrange that, whatever that looks like. Like I said, I don't know. This is just Leesh processing. I am just trying to figure it out like everybody else. But in small things, I guess, in small things, we can find joy, we can find love, we can find peace, we can find justice. Um, our day to day living, right? Just being kind to someone, just showing that kindness, telling someone oh, it's nice to see you today, or whatever that is. Just small little things can eventually lead to really big things. I feel like, I don't know, y'all, but just me rambling. But just got to keep on keeping on, like I say, y'all, doing the best we can. We're doing the best we can. I keep saying I'm doing the best I can, doing the best I can. All right, y'all. My reality right now is I want change for humans. I want change for this world, um, that is going to benefit all. It's going to bring beauty and love and joy to all. Um, it's just, how do we get there? Really, how do we get there? We'll figure it out. Hopefully we'll figure it out. All right, y'all. I gotta run upstairs, get my life together. But as I always say, let's just keep on keeping on. I love y'all, and I will see y'all next week. All right.